Recusal check. Anyone need to recuse themselves from any business this evening? If not, I'll entertain a motion and second to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? So carried. Before we get into our business, is there any comments from the public? If there are no comments, we'll move into the supervisor's report. I have a very short report tonight. 12 days. Highway report.
That's kind of short side too. Our CHIPS money came in a couple days ago, I'm told, 185,000 change. We conducted snow and ice operation so far on 5 days. I don't believe this includes this past storm. We continue to check our trucks and equipment, make sure any repairs are needed between storms, ensure it's readiness for the next storm, and we check roads for down trees and limbs following high winds. Sounds like we're gonna be doing that again tomorrow. I've got my material bids that I'd like you guys to approve tonight. We had 2 bidders this year. Century Aggregates over Canaan and Carlos. Recommend we accept them both. And we also received notification from the state that they turned down the speed limit reduction on White House Crossing. They want the town of Northeast because 2/3 of that road is in the town of Northeast. They want to make that be the same speed all the way across, but it's both down in Northeast to see if they'll pursue that or not. We'll see. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I have the bids. If you want, it's up to you guys. Instead of making a million copies of them, if we want to just review them, pass it down, and then when we get to resolutions, maybe you can decide what to do.
Your bids for what?
That's for
Material bid.
material bids for the same ones we do every December.
Oh, okay.
Town clerk report.
I don't have one written in the book. I've had computer problems this past week and a half to 2 weeks. The computer problems have fixed themselves, believe it or not. So I'm kind of back online. I am working on taxes. They have not come down yet. I received word through my town clerks association that the treasurer's office or the real property just got the numbers. So they're in the process now of printing them. So I should be getting them in the next, I want to say probably beginning of next week. They'll be in the mail by the 1st. I'm working on ag exemption renewals and senior citizen renewals. Just a reminder, if you're a leased ag property, please make sure that your lease is up to date and that there is a Schedule F from your farmer. And if you're a senior renewal that comes into us, please make sure you have proof of income. We're having a lot of them come in with nothing to substantiate, and the state makes sure that we have proof of income for each one of them. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Board member reports. Councilwoman Hunt.
I don't have anything. I'm just reconfiguring the housing committee, and we'll continue that work with the sort of slightly reconfigured committee in January.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gold.
Just a short update on the website activity. I mentioned at last month's meeting that we sent out an RFP, or request for proposal, to multiple web companies. We have received 2 back. We're waiting for a 3rd. And we will evaluate them and meet during the early part of January to determine which company we will go with, and then we will start the activity of updating the website.
Councilman Boyce.
I'd like to read a section of minutes from the 2024 organizational meeting regarding the deputy supervisor position. Ms. Jane Plassman questioned from the audience the proposed appointment of John Ingram as the deputy supervisor. She noted that in the past, this has always been another board member and that she felt it was odd to look outside the elected town board. She noted that there is extra money spent for that position and that she would like to see another board member in that position. She suggested Councilwoman Hunt. Mr. MacArthur said that he did not choose Mr. Ingram for a political reason. He noted that Mr. Ingram served on the planning board for years, and the position is not a compensated position, and there is no pay. The deputy, if not an elected person to the board already, cannot vote if they run a meeting. Councilwoman Gold said that the question then is why John over Bonnie? Ms. Mary Murphy spoke and noted that Mr. Ingram works in Long Island and she has not seen him at a town board meeting. Mr. MacArthur said that he would like to think about this. Mr. Steve Ollier reminded those that the town had elected Mr. MacArthur, and that means his judgment and temperament should be trusted. Mr. Ollier felt that the characterizing of Mr. Ingram in this matter is not fair. Ms. Hunt felt that this was an important decision and the entire board needs to agree on this. It's amazing how we change our opinions year to year and we don't have any consistency in what we do. This has gone on for quite some time and it just amazes me. We have double standards, we change what we're doing and we go on. And, it's just hard sometimes to see where this all goes. As it's been established, it's okay to use obscenities or derogatory comments by a town board member. And doggone it, this really perturbs me.
Councilwoman Lutz.
Okay, in the town or in the packet, you'll see there's organizational resolutions that are there. They are in draft form. We are still discussing them. They're there just so that people can start to, especially ones that run committees, can look and make sure that their roster is correct and that the chairs are correct. And those will not be voted on until the organizational meeting. So they're just there just to make sure that it's out. I also wanted to discuss the town solar RFP. All the town board members have copies of the response that we received, which was from Summon Common. We only have one response. And they bid out both the roof of this building and the roof of the pavilion. I did reach out to them to discuss the issues about installing the panels on the roof on a newly added roof, and they have not gotten back to me yet. Therefore, I feel like with possibly a vote that we should possibly think about restructuring the RFP to just ask for things that are standalone and not on the roofs of the building so that we don't void our warranty. But that would be up to the board whether they wanted to go that route. But as it is, as David mentioned, that if we were to reinstall our existing panels or put up new panels, every time there's a puncture in the actual membrane of the roof, it voids that portion of the roof from the warranty. And that would be half of our roof. So, so I guess I'm asking to find out what the board feels about doing this, whether we go back out with an RFP that says we just want either a carport or standalone, because they did not bid on that, which they could have, but they didn't. And see where we go from there. And any thoughts about that?
I would be in favor of that.
Over.
voiding our roof warranty.
Well, it's also quite expensive.
Yes,
There's no harm in doing another RFP.
there is not. So what I did
Throw it
is
out.
I drafted a letter, which I'll send to everyone to look over, and it's just explaining that we are choosing not to accept either one of the proposals that were sent to us and encourage them to reapply with the standalone system.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
You're
All right, thank you.
welcome.
Secondly, we have been discussing the EV charging system for a very long time.
We
which
need a
is
vote.
out
We
there.
need a vote on.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they made a motion that I send the letter to the person
Tom.
that,
Yes.
Amy did.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
So we've been discussing the EV charger for a long time. We have been working with Linkwell EV charging to discuss options for our current installation and what we could do to upgrade it so that we can charge for charges. That sounds weird, but so anyway, this current unit, it predates the ability to actually have the charging software put on it. So it's basically an entire replacement for it. And Central Hudson has what they call make-ready funds available. And it is something that is available to communities within the Central Hudson district. And it's kind of first come, first serve. And they're encouraging expansion of projects. So if we were to say, take this unit and expand to 4 ports, which would be 2 pedestals, they would give us the potential to get the most funding is from that. I don't know that we have enough usage to warrant doing that many ports. And the reason I say that is because the cost for the subscription to the software that has to run the charging unit and allow us to take payments is $300 per port annually. So that would be 4 times 300 would be $1,200. And I don't know that we would actually be able to recoup our money. However, if we went through the state contract, we could cut our subscription price in half, but that's still going to be, $180 per year for 4 ports, which I think for a town of our size might be a little too much. So there's a second option, which we could go ahead and basically stick with a 2-port system and replace the pedestal and the charging units and replace some of the electric going back to the panel. And that would cost roughly around $16,000. Yeah, so
Jeez.
so we also sat down and the person from Linkwell and thought about it. Now there's also DEC funding out there, which could, in addition with the make ready funds, pay for the entire thing. And if he is optimistic in thinking that we may be able to also put in for funding for the software licenses, bringing down the cost to about 0. So it is something that is kind of time sensitive. However, I just wanted to put this out for everyone to think about, perhaps so that we could make some sort of decisions possibly in January to try and upgrade what we have, make it so that we are charging for people to use it.
And that's the whole idea, right? Just
Yes.
for people who use the ports there now or
Mhm.
in the future wouldn't be free, it would be
Correct.
charged.
Do we have any idea how often the charger is used?
There's a meter inside. I can check that afterwards and tell you exactly how many kilowatt hours it's used.
I
And
mean,
that-
we're looking for a solution to a problem that doesn't really exist.
Well, the weekends
It
are
does.
crazy.
Yes. So I wanted to add on to that. In the meantime, while we are deciding this, I would like to put a plaque or a sign there reminding people that this is not a service that you should be using other outside of the time that the building is open. Meaning you're not supposed to leave your vehicle there and let it charge on the taxpayer dollar. If you're using the building, that's one thing. But if you're not, you shouldn't be leaving your vehicle there to charge.
So it's a courtesy of anybody who's here. For
Correct.
The
whatever
main
business.
problem that we're having is I'll come in on a Saturday and there will be a car with, there's been Massachusetts plates, Connecticut plates,
Mhm.
Vermont plugged in.
Mhm.
And while I'm here, somebody will come in with another car, drop the person off and pick the car up from the charger. And according to neighbors, a lot of these cars are sitting there plugged in all night.
So Monica and I will draft up some language, put it on a sign, send it to you before we get it printed out, put it on a sign and post it there. And I mean, it could be as much as saying violators would be towed, I don't know what else to do,
Right.
no overnight parking, something, but it's
Well,
gotta be
make it
there.
Tough to plow snow if they're parking there overnight.
Exactly,
I mean, that makes it a hindrance to us.
absolutely.
I
Yep.
know we've had a bunch of times, the one summer, we had a person. And I don't wanna, it was a person that was working, for the Center for the Arts from Jersey that would come up here, park the car. They had a bicycle strapped to the back of the car, ride the bicycle down there and come back up here at the end of the day and go home. And that went on all summer. And actually, I have a cousin who comes to visit my aunt. And he brings the car and parks it here and then walks over there to visit her for 4 hours, then comes back to get the car. I mean, I know he does it, so.
What I couldn't get the one person that was continuously doing this to understand is that it's not free electric, that there's a bill related to that. And I got a lot of pushback from this one person and I finally said, this is paid for not by the Central Hudson Ferry, like the fairy godmother, that it's paid for by the residents of the town of this town that are paying their taxes. And we do have residents here that are living on Social Security and rationing their gas for cars that are getting charged for free overnight. That car hasn't come back. She caught me kind of on a bad day.
I have one other thing that just came out the other day. We can shut it, there's a breaker, you shut it off. Yep, you can turn it off when we're not here. You could turn it on, but then it's a factor of remembering to do it, which if we put a postie on the door, I don't know, is the charger off, when you're the last to leave, whatever. Yeah.
Is there a charge for having this terminal removed?
I don't know. That's a good question. You mean, are we penalized or anything like that? No. It was donated and from talking with Kyle, he still installs those, like at someone's house, he could install that. If you ended up with an electric truck, not saying you were going to do that, but we could put it at the town garage, things like that. So it's completely usable, but I don't think there's a charge to remove it, especially if we're replacing it. You know what I mean?
I don't think she was talking about replacing it. I think she was talking about removing it.
If you take it out, no, I mean, I don't think so. We own it, yeah. So. And just one other thing. I noticed that there was a press release from Chairman Morel yesterday, day before, that they are setting a committee together. This is at the Board of Supervisors at the county level to start to explore or re-explore the idea of a county administrator. So they're starting to do the legwork for that. So they're trying to put together a committee to discuss that and see if it's relevant. So that's it from me.
Oh, can I just?
Yeah.
One more thing. I was reading in the paper yesterday, there was an article from the supervisor of Copate, and they were talking about getting a tri-town committee together to address transportation for seniors.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me about that. I did recently have a discussion with both Richard from Copake and Mike Dvorak from Hillsdale. They're trying to work together to apply for transportation funds to develop a ride share or ride sharing service that would help people that either don't have cars or can't drive to be able to call and actually get transportation to a place. And it's very preliminary at this point. There is a pre-application period in like January, I think it is. So I actually discussed this with them about the possibility of doing a transportation survey through the town, which I think would be kind of easy to do to find out if this is something that we might want to work together as a group and share costs if there are any, depending on what the final, but they have no idea of costs yet or anything. So I do have the stuff for creating the survey. So I think we could do it. It would be a fast turnaround, but we definitely could do it because I'd like to see just what the need is in the community and if people would be interested in us pursuing that.
Thanks.
So-
I just wanted to make sure that you had seen it because we haven't talked since I read it. That you had seen it and that we would throw our hat in the ring.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think it looks more desirable for the Department of Transportation if multiple towns are interested in working on the same project. It looks a little better for them to work with us. So that's it for me.
Okay. Do we have any old business? Do we have any new business? Is there any public comment at this point?
My question to you is, I understand it's gonna need upgrade, it's gonna need more electric. It's gonna need more electric. Do we have to, is it a line we can pull through if it needs more electric, and we're gonna have to upgrade back here too, correct?
I don't know if that's going to be, in order to be able to make, to use the Make Ready funds, there would have to be some sort of upgrade in the electric. But your question is, do we have enough service back there to handle that?
That, and do we have to do any type of digging or do any type of other line to get it out there to make that work? Because that would probably be the additional cost. The other thing I was wondering about, if you could get the DEC funding, how long did that last? Because if it lasts for a few years and then we are kind of stuck with that cost,
Right.
I'm not know if that's something.
That's a good question. We were talking about doing up to 5 to 10 years worth to try to do that, you know, really trying to cover that for some time. Not just a couple of years, like
Right.
a little bit more.
It's just one,
Oh.
we might be, you know, stuck with that.
Right.
The other thing is, does the Office of Aging already authorize and do they not come to us because they used to almost time? And
I do not.
or is it, is it just the like there's 3 towns that are trying to do it? Because I did think the Office of the Aging offered that.
I think they
Could
do.
be included it.
I think they do.
Yeah, I think
So,
we do.
Yeah.
I think separate and apart from that, I think.
Yeah, Jen, we're not, Monica did bring up a good point. She said it might just be for medical. This would be for anything, like shopping, anything like that. So, yeah. Good point.
Any other public comment?
But if, as was saying about a deputy, why would you need a deputy if the last two guys didn't need one?
In case I get hit by a bus.
Like Mr. Boyce is there
Yeah.
to take over and back up. You know,
Mhm,
like Art didn't need a, he didn't get hit by a bus, Jim didn't need
Right.
one. He
right.
didn't get hit by a bus, and he traveled quite a bit.
I do too.
Yeah.
So I travel quite a bit too.
Yeah, so, but why would you want one prior? I mean, if that's the case, why not take Jim on the side, who's already doing the job, and just have him bring you through the ropes rather than taking somebody new?
My preference is to have someone on the board to do this,
So I'm,
existing on the board.
who's already there, who can help you out with all the connections that he has.
Already there, you mean?
He already has the connections, he's already in the seat, let him work under you.
Actually,
Therefore, if you have any comments or questions, big time, that you can go to him rather than going in the circle.
That's a good point. Absolutely. It's something to think about.
the one thing that I was gonna say, that the deputy has done, at least for the last 2 years, when Jim has not been around, a bunch of times I've been called to come ask to sign, checks for different things. It works out good because I've been in town and, Monica can get a hold of me pretty quick and I, can be here within a half hour usually.
Mhm.
That's the real reason it worked out.
Any other public comment?
I'm waiting on some pull requests that I got on specifics that I asked for. The specifications, requirements for the pavilion, for the grant. I didn't find it in any of the paperwork we have that we went through, that we've been handed. I have an application. There's nothing stating whatsoever on the requirements to receive that grant. And anyone I've ever seen before, worked with, bidded on, did anything with, had a whole list. And I haven't seen any of those at all. And looking through it, having some legal to look through it. And the way things went through this election campaign, really, there was some total lies told. A lot of us tried to make look bad asking questions. It looks like there was some illegal stuff that happened against town law for that. Somebody needs to admit to that and say it was done before we bring legal and find it out. I know this, I've been through it, I've legal looked through it. There's a few here that actually broke town law, and I need somebody to admit to that and say what it was, and it should be on video, or we're not looking like we're just making things up.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see. Hate to proceed forward and spend the money to have to bring it out, but we will. That's all I got to say for now. Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, we have a resolution to approve. Resolution number 39 of 2025. Whereas the town board has received a formal request from Teamsters Local Union 294 to be recognized as the exclusive collective bargaining representative for all paid full-time highway department employees, to include MEO and excluding all others. Excuse me, as well as excluding any MEO that has taken the title of Deputy Highway Superintendent. Whereas a majority of the highway department employees employed by the town of Ankrum have designated International Brotherhood of Teamsters Local 294 as their sole collective bargaining agent by duly signing authorization cards. Resolved that the Teamsters Local Union 294 is hereby recognized as the exclusive bargaining representative for the above described town of Ankrum Highway Department employees. We'll just do it.
So how does this change things? I mean, this is kind of a big deal, isn't it? Do you have any comments, Jim?
It's nothing to do with me.
Doesn't change anything, Bob.
Oh,
Zero.
but so Jim, you wouldn't not be part of it, correct?
No.
So that's,
The only thing it does is lock everything that we have in now. That's it. Doesn't change. Anything that goes on from here on.
No.
Has to be.
and you have to pay union dues.
Yes, we do have to pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's the only thing that changes for us.
Okay, we need to do a roll call vote. Motion and a second, then a roll call vote.
I make a motion.
Second it. I mean, we don't have a choice.
Okay, Monica? Roll call vote.
Councilwoman Lutz,
Yes.
Supervisor MacArthur.
Yes.
Councilman Boyce,
Yes,
Councilwoman Gold,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt.
Yes.
Okay, and then the only other thing is the bid packet, the highway bids.
Vote on the highway bids.
I make a motion that we accept both of them.
Second,
Motion made and accepted to accept both bids for the highway department. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Need a motion and a second to approve the warrants and pay the bills.
I make a motion, we pay them.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Jim, I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session to discuss the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation.
and before we make that motion, I'd like to say something.
Oh.
I just want to say to the townspeople, it's been a privilege to serve the people of Ankrum. I started serving on the comp plan many years ago, and I served on the ethics board, the zoning board of appeals, the town board for the past 8 years, and it's really allowed me to meet a lot of people, a lot of you people that I never would have met before. And I realized how many great people there are in this town. And I would like to thank you for putting your trust in me. I've always felt that the most important thing is to strive for a sense of community. Because I really do think we all have a lot in common and we really want the same things. There's been a lot of changes in the last years. Not all have been welcomed or planned. Things just change. But here we are. And in the end, I believe we can all come together. Going forward in whatever way I continue my public service, and that's what this is, I hope we can stop the divisiveness and work together, not against each other. We need to come together, not keep fighting like we are. That's the only way this town's going to move forward. We don't need this. And so for the well-being of the town and each other, our neighbors and friends, I'll continue to work in however I can for the betterment of Ankrum. And I thank you for the opportunity to serve. And I hope you all have happy holidays. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We will go into executive session. But before we do that, I just want to let you know on January 2nd at 7 p.m. will be the organizational meeting. Just in case you don't hang around here till we're back out of executive session. Entertain a motion to go back into regular business.
Make a motion.
Second,
Opposed? So carried. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
second.
All in favor? Opposed? Be Christmas.